decide if we will continue our path of progress or go back to the attacks of our very right to exist. Please join me in welcoming our governor, Governor Mark Dayton.
So, how was the party last night? I should ask all the empty chairs how was the party last night. But I'm very honored to be here. Although I had this nightmarish dream last night. I dreamt that I was standing in front of an audience and there were all these pictures of my face staring back at me. It was pretty horrible, actually. But in this context, I want to say thank you. I'm very honored, and I appreciate it very much. And I hope. Thanks, Elliot. Next year, I want to see a picture of Elliot's face on it. But you know, I will always remember the gathering here we had 5 years ago in Duluth, and I remember your executive council screening shortly thereafter, and then the Saturday night phone call from Elliot informing me of your endorsement, which was a call interrupted 5 times by a lost connection to me, being that I was at this distant wilderness outpost called Minnetonka, which sparked my vow to bring border-to-border seamless internet and cell phone coverage to all of Minnesota. We're getting there. And I also remember the incredible work you did in those crucial days before the 2010 election. Without you, I would not be here today. And I will be eternally grateful to your leadership and your membership for their support. Now, however, my Republican opponent is accusing me of something far beyond gratitude. He says my efforts to allow child care providers to decide among themselves whether or not to form a union is a, quote, payback to AFSCME for your support. The dictionary defines payback as a financial return or reward for an initial investment. In other words, he charges that you AFSCME buy someone like me, and I pay you back for your investment in me. For me to do that would be immoral and in many cases illegal. To make such an accusation is reckless, irresponsible, and wrong.
That's right.
Now, my opponent wants to roll back my state income tax increase on the richest 2% of Minnesotans. I think that's a very bad idea. But I'm not going to, and I don't, accuse him of offering a payback to the rich Republicans who are helping to finance his campaign. I simply believe that Americans should be allowed to hold an election and vote on whether or not they want to form a union.
That's right.
Why, that's positively American.
That's right. That's right.
Or at least it used to be. 79 years ago, in 1935, the United States Congress passed a law, and President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed it into law, that guaranteed this right to all Americans, to vote, hold an election and vote to decide whether or not to form a union. Now in this rabid Tea Party era, some people want to take that right away. Well, speaking of Tea Party, my opponent is now pretending that he never heard of it. In a television interview this past week, he was asked, quote, "Are you a member of the Tea Party? Do you support the Tea Party?" And he replied, direct quote, "I don't know that. Well, I'm not a member, but I don't know that you have membership, nor do they endorse, by the way. I've been told that. Nor have I ever asked for their endorsement. Nor have I asked for their endorsement." Last April, he told folks at a South Metro Tea Party meeting, quote, "I just ask that you give me a close look, because I think I may be your guy, and I would be truly honored to earn your support and endorsement in this race." He also said, "There's this perception that the media has created that Tea Parties are kind of wacko." I'll let that one pass. And we are not. And I say we, and I proudly say we. You know, that's the tricky thing about modern campaigns is the words you speak in April show up in September, especially when they're on YouTube. Like Commissioner Johnson's promise at another Tea Party meeting to go all Scott Walker on Minnesota. You probably don't need it, but let's take a brief refresher course on all Scott Walker. Shortly after taking office, he stripped Wisconsin's public employee unions of their rights to bargain collectively for wages, benefits, and working conditions. Now they're prohibited from bargaining for anything beyond base wage increases tied to inflation. They have no right to negotiate other benefits such as vacation days and sick leave. Walker cut Wisconsin's education budget by $1.85 billion, over 15%. Then he raised taxes on seniors and working families and gave tax breaks to corporations and the wealthy.
Wrong.
Meanwhile, he opposed any increase in the minimum wage, supports right to work, and refused to expand Medicaid to provide health care to the people who need it in Wisconsin.
Shame on him.
So is this helping the people who live across the river? In 2013, Minnesota's per capita income was 11% higher than Wisconsin's.
That's right.
Our state's annual increase in per capita income between 2010 and 2013, which coincidentally is the time that I took office. Our annual increase in per capita income during those years was 8% higher than theirs.
Right.
Minnesota's real gross domestic product output per capita in 2013 was 16% above Wisconsin's. And our annual rate of increase in GDP from 2010 to 2013 was 42% higher. So does anybody want to trade Minnesota for Wisconsin?
No!
And I don't take credit for those kind of successes. I give credit to the people of Minnesota, to the business executives and the leaders, the entrepreneurs who invested, all the tremendous workforce, best educated, most reliable, hardest working workforce in the world. That one at time after time is why businesses locate or expand here and why they created over 150,000 more jobs here than existed when I took office. So thank you to the people of Minnesota. Thank you all of you who provide the essential services that they depend upon. And thank you for sticking with me and with the state of Minnesota during the awful shutdown in 2011. And I would be also eternally grateful to all of you who paid the price for that and all of you who stood resolutely in support of protecting state government and all the important things it does. Thank you. The first 2 years I was governor, I vetoed 57 pieces of legislation.
Thank you, Mark.
Many of them would have gone all Scott Walker on Minnesota.
That's right.
Everything from a bill discontinuing expired state employees' collective bargaining agreements, to one permitting the Department of Administration to contract with private waste haulers without determining first whether state employees were able to do the work. Then when I campaigned for DFL majorities in the fall of 2002, I was asked what would happen with a DFL governor and a DFL legislature. I replied one word: progress. Well, you and other Minnesotans gave us the DFL legislature, and we have given Minnesotans progress.
That's right.
And I ask you to hold your applause till the end of the list because it's a long one. Early childhood education, all-day kindergarten, 2-year tuition freezes at Minskew and the University of Minnesota, marriage equality, a $9.50 minimum wage indexed to inflation.
Yeah.
Strong anti-bullying legislation. Higher income taxes on the top 2%. Statewide property tax relief. Landmark renewable energy legislation. Elimination of the entire $2.8 billion school debt. 150,000 more jobs. Fair public employee contracts.
That's right.
An honestly balanced budget. And Republican deficits turned into DFL surpluses. And I want to emphasize it wouldn't happen without DFL majorities in the Minnesota House and Senate. We owe a lot to them, and we need to get them back.
That's right.
Now, I call all that real progress, but not Commissioner Johnson. In fact, he's actually against most of it.
That's right.
And now he's unveiled his latest attack on state government. He wants to hire a private auditing firm to evaluate the effectiveness of all Minnesota state agencies and their programs. Now, conservative politicians just love those schemes. Big, wasteful government can't evaluate its own work. So hire the all-knowing private sector to tell the unknowing public sector what it should and should not be doing. And, surprise, surprise, he wants to start with human services. The favorite conservative whipping post, wasting all that money on welfare. Commissioner Johnson evidently doesn't understand that state agency budgets are audited and their programs evaluated by the best in the business, the legislative auditor.
That's right.
Private CPA firms don't generally perform performance audits. The legislative auditor does.
That's right.
All the time, and very well. So expand that office. Double or triple its program evaluations. So it can tell Mr. Johnson and his Tea Party friends that over 3/4 of DHS's expenditures go to elderly Minnesotans.
That's right.
Almost all the rest goes to citizens with disabilities or serious illnesses.
That's right.
Which they want to cut so they can lower taxes on the very richest Minnesotans. You know, I'm almost amazed at the folks who detest government, who believe it's incompetent, and then seek a job in government. Even running government. Can you imagine someone interviewing for the job of CEO of Coca-Cola and saying, you know, I really don't like Coke. I'm a Dr. Pepper guy. Well then, go run Dr. Pepper. People believe the private sector has all the answers, should find jobs there. And leave the complex, sophisticated jobs of managing complex, sophisticated public services to those of us who believe in them. Those of us who believe in the people like you and AFSCME who provide them, and provide them very well.
All right.
So that's what this election comes down to. A choice between someone who believes in government, who cares about what it does, or someone who doesn't. Between someone who wants to make government work better, or someone who wants to tear it down. Someone who has spent a career in government, who understands the challenges before it, and who has years of experience leading through tough situations, or someone who looks at everything through a narrow, rigid ideological bias, whose answers precede his understanding the questions.
Right. That's right.
I need your help to win this election. I need your votes. I need you to get everyone you know to vote.
You got it.
I need you to remember what it was like to work with a Republican governor or a Republican legislature. And I need you to vow not to let that happen again. I need you also to re-elect Senator Al Franken. Our other DFL congressional leaders, state leaders, and a DFL majority in our Minnesota House of Representatives is essential. And we need to look a little farther than Wisconsin to Washington, D.C. to see what happens if you have Democratic president, a Democratic Senate, and a Republican House. It's deadlock, gridlock, and mayhem, and we don't need that here in Minnesota.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
And then if you do all that, bring us back to office, I won't give you a payback. Instead, I'll do something much better. I'll work together with you, and together we'll build a better Minnesota. Thank you very much.
Let's give it up for our governor!
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And this is hers to Barb.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
How are you?